Good evening, Clarice. I will be discussing with you The Silence of the Lambs, starring Jodie Foster, Anthony Hopkins, Scott Glenn, Anthony Held, and Ted Levine, directed by Jonathan Demme. Sorry, guys, this is Scott here. Just doing my Hannibal Lecter impersonation. Please forgive me. And I've only seen this movie, I think, a few times in my life, and I remember really enjoying it, but let's see if that still remains today. Let's get into it. We open with a score that works very well for this movie, and it starts at the woods near Quantico, Virginia, where Clarice Starling, played by Jodie Foster, is jogging in the police academy. And I don't mind Jodie Foster as an actress because she delivers some in one of the best performances in her career in this movie, as it'll be stolen when we meet another Oscar winner from this movie. But start with Clarice for now, as she's asked by Jack Crawford, played by Scott Glenn, and is the only woman applying for the FBI, and it works very well in this movie, as she's the second best character in the movie, in my opinion. When she's in Jack's office, he offers her a particular job, which is to talk with Hannibal, the cannibal Lecter, played by Anthony Hopkins, in a mental prison. And as she gets to Baltimore in the prison, as the his prison cell is behind a glass, and she goes in to talk with Hannibal, and oh my god, he's one scary motherfucker, as Anthony Hopkins pulls off scary cannibals very well. And honestly, he's the best thing about this movie, as he may be the better than Brian Cox, and maybe better than that guy in Hannibal Rising, which I have yet to get to when I get there, despite I've never seen the TV show, as I can't judge Mads Mikkelsen at this point. But his lines come off very frightening, as Hopkins says the lines and performs as the character fantastically. And he steals the movie from Jodie Foster, in my opinion, even though he's barely in it, sure, as the best character in this whole movie. And I don't get me wrong, Jodie Foster deserves the Oscar, but so does Anthony Hopkins, in my opinion. Hannibal barely brings up Buffalo Bill, played by Ted Levine, as we see a newspaper clipping of Buffalo Bill. As she walks away from the cell, the prison goes crazy, and Hannibal tells Clarice to trust her own sins to find Buffalo Bill, and this entire scene was gripping. Clarice looks into the stories of Hannibal the Cannibal and trains more in the academy, while the men stare at her as she's attractive, sure, which makes perfect sense for the lead of this movie. She looks for some things in a garage, but that's been abandoned since 1981, and sees a bunch of creepy things and is beyond terrifying, and particularly since there's a head Benjamin there's a head Benjamin Rosebill in the garage, and the scene did scare the holy shit out of me. Hannibal trades the case to catch Buffalo Bill, but he asks for a room where he can look outside, and if he delivers, she'll accept. Meanwhile, in Memphis, Tennessee, a woman gets back to her apartment to feed her cat when Buffalo Bill can't get a couch and a truck, and tricks her into getting in his truck. And while looking at him, I thought, get in the fucking apartment, as the poor cat will never get fed again for the rest of the movie. But that doesn't matter. What matters is she gets captured by a serial killer and gets and comes off pretty freaky, as it happens in life. Clarice is ordered to go to Clay County, West Virginia, for a Buffalo Bill case with Jack, and as they go to the crime scene in a funeral home, and Jack talks with the sheriff and the deputies, stare at Clarice while she looks in a room with the funeral guests and a piano player, as it's another deputy's funeral. And I know, and how do I know? Because there's a scene earlier where the deputy and his daughter, but we move on to the dead woman's body. That's pretty fucking nasty, as it smells like it as well. And Clarice discovers something in the dead woman's throat, which is a bug's cocoon. And the scene was uncomfortable, sure, but the way director Jonathan Demme films this scene is a fantastic scene. And the cops must show this scene to the academy if anyone wants to be a cop. in my opinion at least. Clarice takes the cocoon to a couple of bug scientists as they dig through the cocoon, as it's from Africa, which is a fascinating scene as this movie makes fascinating sense. While Buffalo Bill has Catherine Martin, who happens to be the one that was captured in a well, along with his doggy, as he doesn't watch the TV telling the story about how Catherine is a person, as her mother wants her to be free, and Clarice wants Hannibal to help with the case to Catherine's life, with the trait of Hannibal being held in a plum island, and they both agree to work together as Hannibal tells Clarice about the moth that Buffalo Bill puts in a woman's mouth and exchange information about Buffalo Bill while Buffalo Bill tortures Catherine as she puts some lotion in the basket and they both scream at each other, which is random for sure, but this world felt real as the situation feels real, and this movie does a fantastic job that with that the situation of the story, they put Hannibal in a costume that'll be remembered for the rest of the movie history when he goes to Memphis prison. Senator Martin, who's Catherine's mother, meets Hannibal for the first time, as we hear his name is Louis Phil, and Hannibal torments Senator Martin as she felt scared, which is a powerful acting in this scene by Anthony Hopkins. And the actress playing Senator Martin, Clarice, visits Hannibal in the new cage for one last time. And I love this scene for the acting and their chemistry is beyond great, as this will be the last scene between the two. And I have 45 more minutes of movie to go, but I'll see for the rest of the movie how the rest of the movie will go, excuse me. Because their chemistry does make this movie sing as it works tremendously. Clarice heads back to Virginia and Hannibal gets his second dinner in the new jail cell as the guards deliver his food to him and he gets himself off the cuffs and attacks the guards and bites one's nose and kills him with crucifying while he knocks another one dead and sets himself free, and the guards try to get Hannibal, but unfortunately for them, he escaped. And the ambulance and SWAT team make it, and he gets out of from the hospital truck while Clarice hears the news and assumes Hannibal won't go after her as he doesn't for the rest of the movie, as he'll encounter her in the next movie years later. Clarice finds something random on a map and writes a note. She goes to Belvedere, Ohio, to visit one house to the next interviewing people who knows some victims that went missing and tries to see what happened to Catherine. And while Buffalo Bill wants to capture her in the first place, as Clarice sees pictures of Catherine while as a cat, as well as a cat she owned with someone she lived with in the house. He makes a call to Jack and learns Buffalo Bill's real name is James Gum, G.U.M.M. otherwise, as they're on their way to Chicago to get the bastard. And this movie is probably the best thriller and scariest horror film I've seen in years. Catherine tries to get the dog while Buffalo Bill is dancing naked, and his body freaks me the fuck out with the tattoo and a ring that's pierced on his chest. And please don't make me say it. I said it once in the show. Don't make me say it again. Clarice goes by the house that happens to be where Buffalo Bill is at, and where Catherine is being held hostage, and she goes in the house while the FBI are in the wrong house, and Clarice happens to be there and captures Buffalo Bill as he runs away, and Clarice searches for him in a dark basement and hears Catherine searching the place, and Buffalo Bill has the music on very loud and turns off the lights and sees Clarice with the green light, but Clarice can't see him as she falls down while he is following right behind her and almost grabs her and loads the gun and shoots Buffalo Bill dead and saves Catherine as the lights go on and the FBI sees she's still alive and she gets hired in the FBI and Clarice gets a call from Hannibal as he's on an island about to kill someone, and the climax is brilliant. As you can use your imagination as it was a brilliant idea. Now it's time for the rating. I'll give this movie a 9.0 out of 10. The performances are tremendous, as Anthony Hopkins is the best thing about the movie, and Jodie Foster is the second best in my opinion. The movie is very frightening as it's very well made, and the shots are magnificent, and the story is told very well by these actors. And the directing in this movie, I recommend it if you're into thriller slash horror or a good movie, watch this movie. As at the end of the day, it's a brilliant film, and in my opinion, Anthony Hopkins is the best Hannibal Lecter in the series. As I can't speak for Mads Mikkelsen because I haven't seen the show, but hopefully one day, and I will. Me and me, and this may be the best series in the series in my opinion. So I'd like to thank you guys for joining me, and next time I will be back with Hannibal. And until then, ta ta.